What's up, folks? I'm Dex. I'm joined by Jeff, Giga, and Tristan over here. Everyone say hi.
Hi, I'm Tristan.
Hello, Twitch. I'm sure
Hello.
there was plenty of context for all of those intros.
So, I am the lead developer of Gambit the Pyre Wars. Jeff, who is my co-commentator today, is the lead designer. He's designed the game and everything. And we are going to be doing a little grudge match. So Tristan has won our Summer Pyre tournament, and Giga is the runner-up. So Giga is just going to face off against Tristan and get his own back, hopefully. So what we're going to do is we've got our players here in the voice call. They're going to hang out with us for a little bit and draft up their armies. And we can give you guys the rundown of the game. So, if you guys would like to start, go ahead.
You roll a die. There's a die.
You're going to roll a die, yeah. So, players begin the game by each rolling a die. The player who rolls the highest goes first.
I really thought I was going to have a nat 1. Oh, that was a nat 7, never mind. Apparently 9 beats 4.
Yep, so Giga will be going first. Giga is the black player over here, and Tristan is the white player over here.
And his background in mathematics is already paying off with realizing that the 9 beat the 4. So, well done.
9 is larger than 4.
Engineering. Are we pretending Standard Bearer doesn't exist, Tristan?
You're welcome to use Standard Bearer.
Yeah.
I don't want it. I don't feel like it though.
That's fair enough.
It's the best unit, but I don't feel like using it today.
Yeah. Let's have some variety. Let's do some spicy units today.
Let's try Zealot then.
So for a little background, the Standard Bearer is considered to be one of the strongest units. So it looks like Giga and Tristan are making a gentleman's agreement for neither of them to draft it.
Yeah, which is fair enough. If that's what you two want.
All right. I can't go on the stream for the first time without first picking my favorite unit. Second favorite behind Ghost, but favorite unit.
Portal Master. Lovely.
We're gonna put him in this slot though.
So for folks at home, what the Portal Master does, oh, he's moved it. What the Portal Master does is it opens and moves around portals on the board, which Tristan's units will be able to utilize by running through them, and then after you run through a portal, you can make an attack or a movement. So you can really get some distance on the board very quickly with that guy.
Oh, and of course you go Druid. Yeah, to counter my Portal Master.
Or be
so I'm seeing a combo that Giga's doing here, right?
Oh,
yep.
Zealot and Druid. What's really interesting about this is Zealot, when he moves, allows a friendly unit to move next to him, and if he does that with the Druid can move next to him and then place a nut in an occupied space in his zone, powering up the Druid and clogging up the board for Tristan.
Which for me, nature token, but sure.
Yeah, I call them nuts. They look like nuts.
Right. and I'm picking some knight for some possible shenanigans later on.
Yes,
the knight is one of my favorite units.
I do think also that many games ago, Tristan's combo of the knight and the Portal Master may have been one of the most unexpected and most rewarding moments in games that I've seen.
Was it unexpected, or was it a thing we never thought was actually going to happen?
It was a thing that no one thought was going to happen,
well,
but me.
If I didn't know it was going to happen, by definition, I didn't expect it.
So what Jeff is referring to is this Joust card. It moves the knight, and he gets to attack for 2 damage for every space he moves.
No, I'm going to Shapeshifter.
What Tristan did is he went through the portal with the knight doing a joust, really and through that portal he gained an extra movement with his joust, managing to pull off a 7... Sorry, that's the wrong card. A 7 damage joust, was that?
7 damage.
It was absolutely mad.
Yep, and it was right before I was pulled into a bunch of Druid things, so I was going to die the next turn if I didn't do that.
It was very, very cool.
Alright, so you're going Shapeshifter. That's a good choice.
I really love the Shapeshifter. I think it might be one of my favorite units.
Alright, I'm going Force Mage.
Gonna lay that
Am
all
I?
out.
Hold on. No, I'm not going Force Mage.
I do think after the shapeshifter redesign, it's become a lot more dynamic. And I think that's really gone a long way to increasing the appeal of the unit, which was extremely underutilized prior to the latest revision.
Yeah. Now it's quite good.
Absolutely. I love the shapeshifter in this patch. It can just fly around in hawk form. It flies infinitely far, and then in wolf
You
form.
always do that. The problem was it never meant anything.
Yeah, but now it means a lot. So the wolf form can move and then attack and cripple a unit, which is super powerful. Cripple takes away all of a unit's text for a turn, so any of these rules they wouldn't get to use. And then while the unit is crippled and a bit vulnerable, the bear form is ready to strike with +1 damage.
So I think
We'll go right.
So for some context, the way the game works is every unit has tactics, which are very powerful, along with innate abilities. So now with the shapeshifter, each one of its tactic cards functions a little bit differently depending on what form the shapeshifter's in when it uses that tactic, which really I think makes it a much richer unit in terms of being flexible and how you can combine its tactics and its current forms.
Definitely, I totally agree with that.
Ooze!
Oh, this is so exciting. I have not seen an ooze in a while, so...
which is surprising, because it's a really good unit.
It's a great unit.
The problem is it's too slow for me. It's too slow in its mobility is too slow for me, personally.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
So for people at home, if you don't know what an ooze does, I'm about to tell you. An ooze, it's got 7 of these goop tokens, and what these goop tokens do is they essentially act as the ooze's health, but he dishes out these ooze tokens to, these goop tokens, to units he's next to, which allows him to deal extra damage to them, and also, more significantly, prevents them from taking empowered actions, so all of the, actions that would make them a bit more powerful, yeah, they're not usable. I like the strategy you're going for, Tristan. It's sort of slow, but then boosted by the Portal Master, so it's faster.
Yep.
It's very interesting.
And then I'm doing something.
You're doing something.
You're having fun over there.
I think, Giga, the way you've gone, you've just got a bunch of very solid units.
Yep.
So the Zealot is just buffing everything with +1 damage, and then Druid is putting nature tokens all over the board. I like the Shadow a lot. That's a fun pick. He can only take 1 damage per attack, and he also deals damage when he moves. He's a bit like the Knight in that sense, because the Knight gets to move and then attack. The Shadow gets to move and then deal a damage.
Also stuns.
It does also stun, yes. Not just base, but yeah, Shadow does a lot of stunning.
All orders and tactics, unless that was changed at some point.
Yeah, I believe so. Thank you, Giga.
The Shadow was an interesting unit too, because it's from the very beginning of the game, and it was deeply underappreciated in the beginning.
Still maintain, people didn't think it was bad. People thought it was hard and didn't want to deal with it.
Yes, but then we eventually found out it was overpowered.
Yes.
Yeah. We're picking my favorite leader.
Spymaster! Nice, good choice. He's also my favorite.
Yeah, I was gonna go Spymaster if you didn't, because more stun.
Yeah, I saw.
So the Spymaster gets to just jump around the board and stun things, and then attack those stunned things with other units. It's a lot of fun.
Yep.
What do I do with my army?
We got a pretty tanky army going with the
I really do.
ooze and the stuff. For people who don't know, it says ooze has 2 health. He has all the goop tokens. These are also his health. It's fun.
So he effectively has 9.
Except that if he's stunned, those don't help. Those don't save it.
It's very true.
Fine. You don't have any uses of stun.
He has got the Shadow, and
got
he's also
all,
got cripple on the Shapeshifter, which would also negate those goop tokens.
Yeah, Lure of the Grave will be mean on my ooze.
I feel like General or High Priest is best with this army. Unless, well, hang on, wait. But I was gonna say that's boring. It's still boring, so I'm not going that way. But I did just realize.
Paladin.
Ooh. No, we're going this way.
Oh,
Really?
wow. Oh,
Okay.
what a fun guy.
All
Dark Champion is a very aggressive leader. He runs around charging things, getting other things to charge, and he can empower those actions by taking a damage. But to sort of make up for that, every time an enemy troop is eliminated, he gains a health, which I really like the way it messes with the tempo of the game.
It's definitely an interesting choice. I guess I'm a little curious to see how Giga pulls it off. And my faith in Giga is very strong, so I'm sure he will. It's just that you've got a very movement-centered army there, Giga, whereas the Dark Champion feeds off of
easier nature token triggers.
It's a little more subtle than some others in terms of benefiting from its attack and charge triggers.
Sure. I'll give that.
Absolutely.
That.
Right. Tristan's gone for the guard.
I wish the ooze and guard were swapped spaces, but this is fine.
You love the guard. You're the guard guy, aren't you?
If no one loves the guard, I love it. I'm dead. Right.
I think the guard is great.
Guard is a rare unit that somehow just came out of the box, came out of the design pod perfectly.
It really is good.
So what guard does is he moves alongside adjacent units, and then he can swap around a bit and do some attacking. It's very positional based, which with this Portal Master that Tristan's got going, could be annoying for Giga.
Oh, don't forget that if the guard is next to the Spymaster and I move the Spymaster, I can stun a unit, place the guard, and attack that unit.
It does only work on Spymaster maneuvers, though.
Yeah. Okay, so we've got a match, have we? So everyone's chosen their units, and they are placing the initiative totem on Giga's side because he is the first player. Jeff and I are going to head off into our own little call. We're going to leave Tristan and Giga to it because we're going to be talking about their hands, which are private information. So good luck to the two of you. Alrighty, so they are just starting the game. And we've got an interesting Pyre to start off with. This is very spread out. Jeff has just joined me now. I'm just talking about the Pyre and how, like, spread out and square this particular starting Pyre is.
Yes, it's interesting because it's really both have the equivalent bonuses on either side. Usually there's like an energy on one side or a health on the other, and they really start out. It's a very equal Pyre. I actually love it as a first round Pyre.
It's really interesting. So, yeah, everyone just has to sidestep a little bit to get on these health and energy spaces. I think the real fight is going to be for this initiative space down here, because the initiative space provides 1 point of presence, and whoever has the most presence at the end of the round is going to win the Pyre control, and that's what this game's all about, right? It's winning Pyre control, or eliminating the leader, but I have a feeling these two players are all about Pyre control, aren't they?
Giga is definitely prefers to win by a Pyre control strategy. Tristan, I'm not as sure. I think he might be a bit more of an opportunist. But I agree. I think the initiative space is going to be hotly contested because of the presence, and then also because going first in a round can be such a significant advantage in certain situations. But then we do have the card draw space on the other side, the blue card draw space, which is there if you're not going to win Pyre, you can at least get the bonus card draw for the next round to kind of balance it out. So
yeah, and
see how they open it up.
What's really interesting about the card draw space and also winning Pyre, so it creates this interesting interaction with how much card advantage they have at the end of the round. If you have more cards than your opponent in the next round, it's sort of known as card advantage. And you don't want your opponent to have too much card advantage. Oh wow, what an aggressive move to start. Okay. Giga has launched his shapeshifter right into the Tristan's home row. I'm going to have a look at what tactic he's got. He's only got brambles. which is a druid tactic. I would have expected with this such an aggressive move so early, he'd have some shapeshifter tactic, but no.
I would have thought something like a maul, which would put it into bear form and give him a little bit of extra damage. I'm sure he has a plan because Giga always does, but I agree that is unexpected. Unless he's hoping to cripple the ooze in wolf form.
That would be a great way to get rid of it quite quickly. Oh, and Tristan's responding to that immediately. Oh, wow. He's thrown the Spymaster up here, and he's using the Spymaster's ability, where if there's an enemy unit in his zone, he can stun it. I think Giga may have been a bit aggressive too early, because now he's just had his shapeshifter stunned, and the guard has moved in and attacked it, and now he's next to the ooze with the guard, which means he can move the ooze up with the guard. He's playing Brambles. So he places a nature token in Druid's zone. Every unit in that zone is crippled. Oh, I see. And then everything adjacent to it also takes a damage. Oh boy. And what's insane about that is the ooze cannot use his goop tokens to protect against that because he's crippled before he takes the damage.
Right. So the shapeshifter is going to come back. He's going to have advantage. Will he have but Tristan's going to have a chance to respond because the ooze is not stunned. He takes the damage from the brambles, which is huge, but he can maneuver the ooze away because cripple does not stun it, so he does get a chance to order it and get it out of harm's way.
Yeah, absolutely. He can just walk over. Right now, they're just tilting all the dudes over to represent the fact that they're crippled. I'm not sure if they're going to keep doing it. We haven't quite figured out how we're representing the crippled status effect in Tabletop Simulator. Oh, is there another nut from Brambles? Oh, he's considering changing it. I am zooming in on it.
Oh, right.
It is just one nature token, so I'm wondering... Oh, because the druid has moved, he also gets to place one because of his innate ability.
And he's blocked off the card draw space.
And Tristan's also playing his tactic.
Wow.
2 tactics so early in the game. Leyline Shift allows him to draw a card, and he can just place portals everywhere, basically. And, he can place any unit in Portal Master's zone on a portal, which is really nice. I think he's just going to get something out of the way.
Yeah.
Yeah, get the druid out of the way.
Move.
Can he...
These placements...
I don't think that's a legal move, actually.
In Portal Master's zone.
Yeah.
Yes, and Giga has pointed it out to him, it looks like.
Okay.
So what's interesting is I think the placement of either the Giga's nature tokens and Tristan's portals gives you a bit of a window into their strategy. Giga is blocking off that card draw space, which makes perfect sense because the Spymaster tends to generate card advantage. I think he wants to minimize the risk of Tristan getting additional card advantage. Yep, and he's blocking off Giga's health space in his home, but he's keeping the initiative space open. I'm thinking he wants to grab that himself so he can hold on to the initiative.
I think he wants to...
So he can take the initiative, I'm sorry.
Yeah, Tristan grabbing the initiative could be huge. He's got a big card advantage now. I was talking about that earlier. He's just played a tactic which allows him to draw a card. And he's also the second player, so he's currently going to be able to play 2 actions, which Giga won't have the opportunity to respond to until next round, which could be huge, right?
Yes, and I think that normally I prefer to have initiative, but the one time that's not the case is the very first round of the game. I like going second in the very first round of the game.
I totally agree, yeah. And I've just had a look at Tristan's hand as well, and he's got Stolen Plans, which will allow him to draw yet another card. That ooze has gone down, though, as we expected.
Yeah, that's a pretty big play. Taking out the ooze that early is pretty massive.
Absolutely. Just so the way Giga has done that is he has crippled the ooze twice and hit it twice, and crippling the ooze prevents him from using goop tokens to defend against damage. So that ooze has gone out of the game quite quickly, actually. It's very unfortunate.
Yeah, this is a very, very aggressive opening that both Giga and Tristan have played. So it's going to be interesting to see how it pans out. Again, losing the ooze is big, but but Giga did spend a lot to do it. So we'll see how that works.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
now his shapeshifter is a little bit isolated, which isn't great. He's next to the guard, he's next to the knight. So the shapeshifter is a little bit of risk.
Although the shapeshifter, I believe, is currently in bear form, is it?
It's in wolf form.
It says wolf form. I'm pretty sure it must be in bear form after it just made that attack, right?
Did it do an attack? I may have missed it.
I believe it did an attack to eliminate the
ooze?
The ooze.
Right, we can.
So if that shapeshifter is in bear form, then it's just standing there menacingly. Tristan's spreading portals across the board, and Giga is getting in position to hold some control points. Yes, shapeshifter is in bear form currently.
There we go. Okay, good catch. Yeah, that is a lot of portals, and they are very widely spread, which is going to give Tristan a tremendous number of options for movement in the game.
He's got a lot of control. Tristan's a really interesting player because he's a control player, but he controls by dealing damage. Which is something I didn't think was possible in any game. And what's he doing here? This always scares me. Oh, he's playing Stolen Plans. He's going to move on to a portal. But I'm wondering how he's going to be doing this. He's not using the portal. He's just hopping onto it.
Oh, nice with the guard.
Oh, he moves the guard up with him, using the guard's innate, where he gets to follow along with an ally. And then he stuns the druid and attacks it with the guard. And then he, last but not least, gets to draw a card because of Stolen Plan's innate ability, which allows him to draw a card when he's in the leader's zone, which he is.
Guard able to follow the Spymaster? Because the Spymaster's move was not empowered.
That's correct. That's not actually a legal move, unfortunately. And that'll have to be corrected. And hopefully Tristan can still find a way to use that Stolen Plans to some effect. I think the worst...
Card draw.
He does get the card draw. I think the worst that could happen is he's either not dealing the damage to the druid, or... Oh!
So they may
I'm not sure what's happening here.
They may have found a reason that it works.
It's quite possible.
I mean, if there's any two players I trust to interpret rules correctly, it's Tristan and Giga.
Absolutely.
We don't want to ever have a hyper-competitive atmosphere in the game where it leads to bad feelings, and I think our community has really done a good job of maintaining that atmosphere.
Yeah, something I love about this community of Pyre gamers is, yeah, everyone's just so chill and lovely, and it's just so much fun to play every game of Pyre. Not just because the game is great, which it is, and you should totally come play this game. Link to our Discord is in the top left. Yeah, it's just so friendly, and I just have a great time every time I'm playing, or even just watching a game.
Yeah, I have to agree. I mean, I don't get to play it as much as I used to, since I'm usually spending my time designing these days. But even just watching games, every game I watch, I really enjoy. And I do enjoy playing as well, which is good because I very rarely win these days because our community of players has become pretty strong.
Yeah. So I've just seen what Tristan has done to rectify this mistake he made with the Stolen Plans. Instead of playing Stolen Plans earlier, he actually played a maneuver which is empowered and allowed him to do the same thing without the card draw. So he's now just played Stolen Plans, and now he's going to do a sort of similar thing. Right. One thing I have noticed that's really interesting is Tristan is holding an enemy objective right now, which is unexpected, but really is working for him. He's got 3 presence against Giga's 1 presence right now.
Yeah, I think Tristan is one of the people who early on recognized the potential of the guard, which is to give you another possibly very large move for the cost of one maneuver, and he leveraged it extremely well in this situation.
Yeah, and the players have just finished the first round. I didn't even notice them running out of cards, to be honest. We were too busy talking here. And, wow, yeah, Tristan's just won the Pyre. He's also got initiative. So he's in a pretty great position for this round. He is down an ooze. But yeah, he's got his Pyre control token here. And he's going to be picking his tactics to begin the strategy phase. So in the strategy phase, players gain 2 energy, they draw 3 tactics, and then they choose which tactics they're going to purchase and which troops they're going to revive. And Tristan has got a whopping 6 energy to start with. Oh, wow.
But yeah, I noticed the 6 energy myself. That's very rare. And that's actually enough to buy all 3 tactics. Except, of course, unless he wants to bring the ooze back, which is going to cost him 2 of the energy.
I think it would be sensible to get the ooze back in this situation.
Agree.
I think it would be a really nice way to deal with that shapeshifter in his backline. So if he places the ooze in the backline and then targets the shapeshifter with it, he can place goop tokens on the shapeshifter. And what the goop tokens do is they prevent the shapeshifter from taking empowered actions until the goop token is essentially burned by the shapeshifter taking an empowered action. That would be a really nice way to sort of stop the threat, at least temporarily, of the shapeshifter, who is currently in bear form, threatening to do 2 damage, because that's the bear form's power.
Exactly. And I think that, this shows the value of really managing your energy, because the fact that he has 6 instead of 5 means he can buy 2 tactics cards for a total of 3 energy and still bring ooze back for 2. So it's going to really bring him parity with Giga on the board, because they're both going to have 2 tactics and they're both going to have all of their units on the board if this goes as we expect.
Yeah, so I'm just having a look at the players' tactics right now. What you may have noticed Tristan was doing is he's flipped over one of his cards. He's basically thinking, hey, I don't want that card, so he's just not looking at it right now. We've got 2 shapeshifter tactics in Giga's hand. Maul, which deals 2 damage and stuns the target. And Lunge, which allows the shapeshifter to charge and then ready hawk form. So what's interesting about shapeshifters' tactics is they're very potent tactics in comparison to a lot of other things, but they're only that potent when you use them in the correct form. You have to set up quite well for the shapeshifter. So Maul is particularly useful in, I think it's bear form is the correct way to use Maul. No, it's hawk form, isn't it?
Hawk form would definitely be brutal, because of the Hawk's ability, you can move a very long distance and then get off of that strong attack with the stun. It turns it into a tremendous threat. With bear form, it's not bad, because you do it, then what you're getting then is a little bit more damage out of it.
Absolutely, and players have just drawn cards. Giga's got Adapt as well. He's gonna have a really big shapeshifter round, I think. He's got Adapt, he's got 2 shapeshifter tactics. This is gonna be crazy for the shapeshifter, provided it doesn't die first.
Yes, well, he does have initiative. So, oh no, he doesn't. I'm sorry. Nope, I take it back. Nope.
No, Tristan does.
Tristan does. I'm keeping track of who's
but
who.
I don't think he has any insta-kills, because he's taken more positional cards.
Yeah. He could put some threats out, though. He could put some threats that really prevent Giga from taking full advantage of the shapeshifter. Oh, he's using his control token to play a free tactic without discarding an order card.
So he's
playing Disrupt.
I love this card. This is so different to any other cards we have right now, because you can immediately play another order or a tactic card. This is the only card in the game which allows you to play 2 tactics in a row.
Yes. Although the tactic itself is a relatively weak tactic on its own, which is why it has that additional tactic play.
Absolutely. But what it does do is it allows the Spymaster to move. Then since he moved, he gets to stun something. And then he gets to attack.
Yeah, it really leans into the Spymaster's card advantage, and the combos are pretty frightening. So his second tactic he has played is translocation.
Oh, so he's going immediately for the second one. So draw a card and swap the positions of 2 units. So yeah, Tristan's just playing the position game right now. That's a lot of fun. So he's got 2 card draw tactics, which is going to give him, yeah, a lot of card advantage, as we were saying. This is what makes the Spymaster quite fun to play. He's very focused on just getting this card advantage on the enemy, getting loads of stuns across the board. Basically, if you play the Spymaster right, he runs around and he stops things from doing anything.
Yeah, it's definitely, I would say, one of the higher skill leaders, but in the right hands, and Tristan's hands are definitely qualify as the right hands. It can be really, really devastating for your opponent and really limit their options.
Absolutely. So this is quite a big turn that Tristan's doing. He's playing 2 tactics at once, so he's taking a little bit of time to think it over, which is absolutely fair enough.
So interesting. I don't know if you've been looking at the clock decks.
I haven't.
Whoa,
Tristan's used a lot more time than Giga has.
Tristan has used a lot of time. He's used almost half of his time, and Giga, surprisingly, because Giga is not usually a brisk player, has used very little of his.
Yeah, we do like to make fun of Giga every now and then for being the slow player in our server. But wow. That's... Yeah, I mean, Tristan's had some big moves to think about for sure, and I don't know if they've necessarily been remembering the clock. But, right, so Giga is lunging with the Shapeshifter. He's getting those Shapeshifter tactics into play right away. What's he doing with it?
Yeah.
That didn't seem very impactful to me.
So he did the lunge.
So it gets him a damage, and then he can move.
He gets to cripple somebody because he was in... Oh, what form was he? He was in bear form?
He was in bear form.
He actually gets the bonus damage. So he gets the bonus damage from the bear form then.
Yes.
So who did he attack?
I don't know.
Looks like he has not...
Oh, I think he hit the Spymaster, and then he moved away.
Oh.
Yeah,
okay.
he hit the Spymaster because it was empowered. He went immediately to Hawk form, and then he used the empowered move to go over there.
Very nice. Okay, so I think
nice.
That was a solid play.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a very hit and run tactic.
Yeah, the combos for the Shapeshifter are so much more interesting now. So he's definitely putting the pressure on. Giga has taken... Well, actually... no, I'm sorry. Giga is really going for a much more aggressive kill the leader game. And Tristan still looks like he's got the only control point, right?
I don't know. I don't see a Dark Champion anywhere, so I think the upside down unit may be the Dark Champion. Yes, it is.
Oh, it is. So... Okay, yes. It's just the angle that made it look like a white unit. Okay.
But Tristan is very much still playing control. He's playing Spymaster and guard how he wants to. He's just running around. He's got all these portals everywhere. He can go anywhere he wants, which is so nice.
And I think Giga's decided not to contest him in that area and is really going for the...
Oh, yeah, all the leader damage. He's taken 7. That leader is in a rough spot.
And this is, as you said, the Hawk form maul is really scary.
Definitely.
Being able to make that huge move followed up by a strong attack.
Yeah, absolutely. So,
although I will say, if there's one leader that I'm less worried about having high damage on it, it's the Spymaster. I'm still concerned, but thanks to its ability to stun, it can really buy time if you focus on keeping it alive while still disrupting your opponent.
Definitely. I've had a game against Empire, who is another person in our Discord server. He has had the Spymaster. He's run away with it. I've been 1 damage away from a kill, and he's just run away for 2 rounds, and then 1 on Pyre control, because Spymaster can do that. It can run, and then it can stun. And then it runs, and then it stuns. And then it just ends in a loop where they're getting damage on you and repositioning, and you're just chasing after something that can't be chased.
Yeah, it's really amazing. And because its order gives it a very long distance move, it's the only leader that has a slide move where you can move any distance. It can escape very nicely.
Definitely. Okay, so there's a lot of stunning going on, which is quite fun, because we've got at least 3 or 4 units here that are very focused. Yeah, here we go. He's running away. Exactly as we thought.
Yeah, and the portals will help in that case also. It gives him a lot of options to escape.
Definitely. And he can bring that guard around with him, acting a bit as a wall, kind of.
Yeah, so I mean, 8 damage is scary, but if you look at the positions, there's not a lot of threats open to him. Giga has no tactics left, so yeah, it's going to be hard for him to get there. And the Zealot is nearby, but the Zealot's best when it's near other units, and the Zealot's isolated at the moment, so it really doesn't benefit right now.
When you say isolated, you literally mean isolated. We have a wonderful new keyword in this game that we're just trying out, called isolated, where if a unit is not next to a friendly unit, they are an isolated unit. It can be quite dangerous for some secret upcoming units. Hush, hush.
Yes, we've really leaned into it a lot in our new units, and future streams will be showcasing some of those units as we develop them. There are some very interesting ones that function incredibly differently from anything we have in the game right now.
Absolutely, it's really exciting to be part of the development process and be completely changing things like that. So tap Leyline, the card that Tristan has just played, and he gets to move some portals around before he moves, then he gets to move again, move some more portals around. Basically, he's moving a lot of portals around. He's doing what a control player does. He's setting up for whatever he wants.
Yeah, very interesting.
It has occurred to me that the Portal Master could use tap Leyline, land on his portal, go through a portal, and then use the end of tap Leyline. So he could utilize his own portals to just shift everything, and suddenly the board looks like a completely different thing. So Tristan is the only one with cards left right now, so he's just playing all his cards at once. He's playing Timely Defense right now, so he's moving guard around, he's doing some charges. I think he's just gone for Pyre control, because he's got the well, if he can get 1 more control point, which he should be able to very easily, he can control everything. Yep, here you go. Knight's moving up very slowly, and then he's going to maneuver right onto the control point.
Right. Now, the scary thing for...
Oh, and he kills the shadow as well!
Yeah, that's huge. Oh. You seem to be saying... Oh, he stuns the shadow. And then kills it. Okay. Yeah, Tristan really doesn't want Giga to get initiative going into round 3. You don't want that when your leader is so close to death, because then one tactic could be enough to end the game immediately. So Tristan really needs to make sure he maintains the initiative going into round 3.
Absolutely. And not only that, but he needs the Pyre control. He needs to threaten next round to win the game through a Pyre victory of getting 3 Pyre control tokens, rather than letting his leader die. And what Giga needs to play to sort of, for him to win himself, he needs to do the opposite. He needs to murder the other leader.
Right, so here we go. We're going to be going into round 3 shortly. So as expected, Tristan has 2 out of the 3 control tokens that he needs. But his leader is in rough shape. What's scary is that Giga's Dark Champion is right there, and he's got a couple of orders and maybe even tactics that could really threaten him. So he needs to get his Spymaster out of that area, and put pressure on Giga with the control points.
Let's have a look at what tactics Giga has in hand right now, actually. So he's got Grave Walk, which won't be much good without a shadow, now that that's gone. But, oh, here we go. This is what's going to be really scary. Got Unholy Madness in his hand, which the Dark Champion gets a charge. Do notice how the Dark Champion is right next to the Spymaster right now. So he's going to get damage from that charge, and then he gives a troop a Rage status, which allows them to deal +2 damage on empowered attack actions at the cost of damaging Dark Champion when that happens. I think that's really interesting because it could completely change the tempo of this game. It could really force Tristan to just be worried about all his units because they could go down in an instant.
Yeah. The one advantage Tristan has right now is that Giga's units, his troops, are completely out of position. Everything is on Giga's back rank or one in front of his back rank, whereas Tristan's are all pretty much where they need to be, especially with those portals in place. So, for example, now Unholy Madness does nothing until Giga can get at least one more unit down there. Now, that's certainly a possibility. But what orders does Giga have in hand?
That's a good question. Oh boy, but Giga has 2 into the phrase.
Oof.
That's really scary. That allows the Dark Champion to charge and then have other troops charge. He's also got a Soul Drain, which allows him to stun some units next to Shadow. He didn't end up taking the tactic for the Dark Champion. He's gone for Grave Walk, which allows him to deal a bunch of damage with the Shadow.
I think that's a good choice because Tristan really needs to get his Spymaster out of there, and by moving him away from the Dark Champion, he'll have to move it into the Shadow's zone of concern. So that's I think that was a very strong tactics choice.
Definitely.
For Giga. I think the stun. Oh, Dark Champion is down. It has 9 damage on it too.
When did that happen? That's crazy. Oh goodness. So Tristan's doing what I call the Tristan move. I don't actually call it that, but I'm calling it now. He is trying to win on both fronts right now. He could win by Pyre victory. He's got 2 out of the 3 Pyre control tokens. And he could also win on leader damage very easily. Once a leader has only got 3 hit points left, it's very, very worrying. That leader can just go down in an instant. If the opponent has the right tactic, you're in a lot of danger.
Yeah, so I think you're right. And, even though Giga is 3 health away from being killed and Tristan's only 2, just the position of the troops is so scary. When you've got the Knight, the Ooze, and the Guard all there, along with the Spymaster nearby, all surrounding that Dark Champion, that 3 health is not nearly enough to be comfortable.
He's got 2 stolen plans in his hand as well. Oh goodness. Yeah. And Assemble. I don't really remember this tactic very well. Place all friendly units in guard zone adjacent to the guard. Then the guard can swap and attack, and the attack stuns. That could be quite effective if he needs to reposition a bit.
So now I think Tristan has really managed to nullify the Grave Walk, which I'm wondering if he's thought about it, and he very well might have, because there's really no way now for the Shadow to jump over the Spymaster.
That is definitely correct.
That doesn't completely nullify the Grave Walk, but it does weaken it significantly.
Yeah, unfortunately, he can just use the Grave Walk to walk next to the Spymaster, because after the jump, one adjacent opposing unit takes 2 unpreventable damage and gets stunned, right?
Oh, that's
so
true.
That
yes.
2 unpreventable damage could be enough to take out that Spymaster, unless he plays something like the Stolen Plans. Tristan's a great player. He knows about cards
How did
like
he get
Grave
there?
Walk.
There's
He
the jump.
used the
jump
jump.
there. Okay, yep.
Yeah. What a brilliant way to say absolutely no to that Grave Walk. Tristan knows the cards in this game. He knows that this is a setup for a Grave Walk, and he's not having any of it.
It was absolutely excellent. He gets the card draw with another option. He stuns the Dark Champion. Things are looking really, really grim for Giga. Although he put up a really strong fight, I think he's in a rough position.
Well, what's interesting is it's still not over, though, because Giga, although he's in a rough position, he's losing on one front and tied on the other front for leader damage. The game can just end in an instant if Giga finds the right move, right? Because he can just run away with that Dark Champion, and then as soon as he's in the right position for some kind of Grave Walk, but he's doing that now. Oh, he's going to kill the Ooze. Interesting.
Very nice. Very
I like
nice.
it.
Yeah, I may have spoken too soon. That was a very, very nice play on Giga's part.
A nice way to quickly take out that Ooze.
Can't Ooze still prevent damage with Oozes?
No, because Grave Walk stuns the unit. And that occurs at the same time as the 2 unpreventable damage. So stunning the Ooze, as we've discussed earlier in the stream, prevents the Ooze from using its goop tokens as health.
Yes.
And now that
The
Shadow
stun
is right next to the Spymaster again.
Oof. Tristan has to do something here. Yeah, and as we've said, the Ooze is a very strong unit, but it is extremely weak once it's hit with a stun or a cripple.
So is it on Tristan's turn right now? I believe it is. Yes. He's only got 5 minutes left on his clock. He'd better be fast about this.
Yeah, definitely.
And the cards
This
are
is
in
the first
his
time
hand.
I've seen the clock really play into the game, and he's got a lot to think about right here. He is on a razor's edge. They both are on a razor's edge right now.
Definitely. And that's what makes a great game, right? Just not quite knowing where it can go.
Yeah, if he does not move that Spymaster out of the way, that's going to be game for Giga.
And Giga, I think, has a...
Giga's favor, I mean.
Yeah. Giga has a lot more damaging sort of tactics. He's got Into the Fray right now in his hand, which, as long as that Dark Champion has an opportunity to not be stunned, he can do some serious damage with that if he just plays it right.
Yeah, the one thing is, again, it's tough. It's going to be tough to get somebody in his zone because the Dark Champion is so isolated. There's really no way for it to move and then have a unit in its zone right now. Giga really needs to do some setup first. But he could do 2 Into the Frays, conceivably, and that would do it.
Has he used one of those already? He's not got one in his hand anymore.
Oh, okay, then never mind.
Yeah, although it's still definitely possible to deal with Tristan. Honestly, Spymaster, if he has no jumps left, is going to be quite trapped soon. Although I think, yep, he's just dealt a bunch of damage to that Dark Champion. Oh, that's scary. 1 damage left to deal, and there are units all around him.
Yeah, this puts the pressure on Giga. He doesn't have time now to get units into position. He needs to get that Dark Champion out of there. He has no choice.
I believe we're on Tristan's turn right now. No, it's still on Giga's. It's still on his clock. I think he's
Giga's
trying to find
think.
a way out. He has got the time to think.
This is when you really want that time. When you're in a position like this, he has the luxury of being able to sit back. And I will tell you, having played Giga and having watched many Giga games, when Giga has time to think, he is very scary.
Yeah, he can find some moves that I would never find ever in my life. It's quite amazing, actually, how skilled he can be. I don't know if he has the right cards right now, though. I think what he wants to do is maneuver to just get away from everything. But that Into the Fray might not come to good use.
Yeah. And he's going to need to keep at least one unit. He needs to get somebody onto a flag also, because he can't let his Dark Champion die, and he can't lose to Pyre.
Definitely.
So it's a really tough position, but again, as you said, with two cards in play, it's tough, but I don't rule Giga out quite yet. Although I do think things are looking quite nice for Tristan, but not a lock.
I'm not really seeing any moves that Giga would want to do. The closest thing... Oh, hang on, doesn't he have a kill? He does, he has a kill! He doesn't even know it! He could have won! So if Giga were to play Into the Fray, use that Dark Champion to charge down here and hit the Spymaster. Oh, it doesn't
No,
reach.
the Shadow's not in his zone.
Shadow's not in the zone, so it doesn't quite reach. Wasn't
that's what I
quite
was
a kill.
saying. Yeah, that was his issue. He had nobody in the zone in order to pull off an attack on the Spymaster.
Oh, that's very unfortunate.
It's just the positioning, even if you're playing an aggro deck or an aggro army like Giga is, positioning is still so important. You need to have your units in the right place at the right time.
Definitely. And yeah, that just wasn't quite it for Giga. Yeah. I think he just needs to be really worried about this knight right now. Does he doesn't have an instant kill. Oh! He moves through the portal and uses the attack from the portal to eliminate the Dark Champion. What a game.
Wow. Excellent use of the portal. Again, something, this is why Giga and Tristan are both top tier players.
They're revealing each other's hands.
All right, shall we hop over to their chat?
Yeah, we can do.
Well, Gravewalk was the correct tactic to take, but he managed to block me out.
That 100%. Was so close at so many times, guys.
Yeah.
Gravewalk is insane. Gravewalk is great, and you protected against it perfectly, Tristan. Did you know that he had a Gravewalk in his hand?
No.
There's no way.
No.
Were you
no.
What were you thinking about just in case he had a Gravewalk?
He was just trying to prevent me. He was trying to block out my champion.
I was trying to block out the champion mostly because I knew he had the 2 last maneuvers. And I was just mostly boxing out from any units just because even though I don't keep it all, it's hard to keep everything in mind. So I just have general positioning that I do.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it works.
Well
yeah.
Yeah, there was a really scary moment as well when Giga's Dark Champion was sat there on 1 health right at the end of the game, and he had an Into the Fray which just about couldn't hit you.
Just barely. I knew he had that though, so I was.
If I didn't do Gravewalk, I died, so I had to burn it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Definitely. Oh, you absolutely needed to do it, and I think using it to get rid of that ooze was absolutely necessary.
Yeah, Gravewalk is crazy against ooze. It just insta kills it, no matter how many goop tokens.
Cripple or stun is just devastating against ooze, which it's what makes ooze such an interesting pick. It's super tanky in the beginning, but it's also super vulnerable to both cripple and stun.
I mean, it got me that +1 damage here, so that was nice.
It did. And what was really interesting about this particular matchup is you both took a lot of things which do cripple and stun. Like, a lot of things.
Cripple and stun is very good.
Yeah, it's super useful, just stopping your enemy in their tracks. It's super good. Tristan, you were playing the positional game throughout that entire thing. I was amazed with what you were doing with the portals at some points.
Thank you.
I think that would have been fine, except the Spymaster kept giving him so many actions.
Yeah, your hands were full of cards.
Oh my god, yeah, that's why I love Spymaster. The card advantage that leader generates is why it's good. I mean, its innate is insane too.
Which, props to you, Giga, for taking such a tricky leader. You did some serious damage at some points. It was great.
Granted, most of that was Shapeshifter.
Yeah, Shapeshifters.
Shapeshifter did a ton for you. That aggression early game was so shocking. When we saw you move your Shapeshifter in for first turn, Jeff and I were like, "What? That's crazy."
That's how you have to play him. Giga played that exactly right.
Yeah, I loved it. What a great game, guys. And the shapeshifter was fine after that.
Oh yeah, he was chilling. Actually, well, unfortunately for him, the shapeshifter was I was able to. That's what won me the game though. His shapeshifter being in my zone because I swapped it with the Dark Champion.
Right. Yeah, good point.
Yeah.
So that's what happened. The shapeshifter and the Dark Champion swapped. We didn't quite catch that.
Yeah. The Portal Master tactic.
Oh, it's any two units.
Two other units within his
Wow.
zone, any portal.
Well played, Tristan.
Here's the thing: you claim it won you the game, but it also dropped a lunge right on your head.
Yeah,
Yes.
it dropped a lunge on my head. But look, I was looking to look if you can get the leader alone with 4 of your units around it.
It's units there. I could have run away if I'd been willing to spend the resources on it. I just didn't.
Well, but at that point, I already had Pyre advantage, though.
Awesome. Well, thank you both for playing a game on stream for us. I think it might be time to wrap up. Good game, everyone. Thank you so much for playing.
Good game, Giga. I wish I could shake your hand, but you're a bit far.
I think I've at least redeemed myself for the fact that I'm no longer.
Oh my god!
As I was.
If one unit was like moved like a square, you could have had the victory this game. Like it was tight.
Yeah, we did actually observe that if the Shadow were just a little closer to the Spymaster, the Dark Champion's order would have been enough
into the fray. Definitely.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna head out and wrap up the stream. I'll talk to you guys later. Thank you very much for playing.
Right, thank you, and thank you for the people who observed.
Yeah.
All right. Bye, Twitch chat.
Okay, everyone. So thank you so much for coming to the stream. That's been the grudge match between Tristan and Giga. If you're watching on YouTube, check the link in our description. We will have links to the Discord, and when we have one, we will have a website up soon. So thank you so much for watching, and I hope you all have a great day, and join our Discord, come out. Bye bye.